Hello, welcome to Content Generation Basics. Yes, we had started a discourse in the course of this training toward a profitable 2021, and we started with content. What is content? And we're talking about the basics of content generation this minute, this moment. We had already defined content generation. The introductory part is right here on the group. You may kindly search for it before we group it actually into the segment where you can readily catch it. Yes, amongst the list of units or the list of topics right on the group. So if you want to see it before this one, you can quickly go and check the group and you get it. So what does it mean to generate content? To generate something means to create something. To create something either from the scratch or to create something midway, already half processed. Okay, but I want to connect with the start from the scratch kind of generation. Generation of content means how do you generate content? What are the basics for content generation? Now I'm going to be connecting with us more from the practical aspect of how I am able to actually generate content. The one sure way to generate content is through using the five senses. So the five senses of the five sensory systems. Yes, five sense organs, sensory systems. So the five senses of five sense organs are the eyes, the nose, the ears, you have the mouth or the tongue rather, then you have the skin. Now the systems are known as the visual system, which is made up of the eye. I'm talking about the five sensory systems, five basic sensory systems that make up the human being, that make us who we are. And these are the five sensory systems that we can use to generate content. It is a standard, okay? Now, the first one I talked about is the visual system, of which the eye is an organ. Then we have the auditory system, of which the ear is an organ. We have the olfactory system, to which the nose is connected. We have the tactile system, which is responsible for the feeling of touch. Okay, then we have the gustatory system, which is responsible for taste, to which the tongue is connected. Now let's look at these five systems and how they function. Now there is actually, before we go on there, the part of the brain that is responsible for transmitting the messages from the five sensory systems, transmitting them, interpreting them, is the parietal lobe. The parietal lobe is responsible for transmitting the messages gotten through these five sensory systems into valuable information. Okay? And the next thing we need to, someone may be asking, what's the connection between the mind and the brain? Well, the brain represents, to a large extent, a physical or a tangible part of the mind that we can relate with. The mind is something like, oftentimes it's like abstract when you talk of the mind, but when you want to talk about thoughts physically, the very place that we can connect the mind with, the closest place is the brain. All right, because right in the brain, we have thoughts there, and we can connect it with it. So we want to connect with the physical aspect that we can reach out to, that interprets what the mind, how the mind works for us. Okay, that is why we're talking about the brain. Now, why are we hinging on this? Until you know the power, the value of who you are, you will never be able to reach your full potential. Oh, Echezana Ede, my leader, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your effort this afternoon. And in spite of the network glitch, I want to celebrate you. I want to appreciate you because you are indeed a leader. You are one of the great men that Nigeria is proud to have. I salute your courage. I salute your ingenuity, okay? Thank you for joining me. All right. So, the visual system is responsible for sight. So, when we're talking about the visual system, meaning that you can generate content by what you see. What are the things you watch? What kind of films do you watch? Nigerian films, action films, and all that. There are some scenes in between that you can just will speak to you directly, and you're able to jot down one or two things. Even though you don't jot down, you have it registered that this this spoke to me. And by that, you can actually pen something down or generate a speech from it. Then we'll talk about the auditory system, auditory sensory system, which has to do with our hearing. Our hearing. What do you hear? What do you listen to? That is why it's very important that you speak words of life to your child. It's important that you speak words of life, of encouragement to your children, so that they will be hearing the right things, positive things that will build them and their generations. Okay? So, the next part that will help you to build content, generate content, is the olfactory system. Your perception. What do you smell? How did you perceive that person? How did you perceive that soup? How did you perceive that experience? Oh, somebody farted. How did you perceive it? Do you know your experience with somebody farting around you can help you generate a post, whether written or spoken, from it? All right, that is one way to generate content. Then we also talk about the gustatory system, which is responsible for the sense of taste. What you taste, is it sweet? Your experiences in life, have they been sweet? That soup, was it bitter? Are you okay with it? If not, how can you transfer it to the next person as a message, as a lesson, as something that someone else can profit from? That is how one way you can generate content. Another way, which is the last for the 5 basic sensory systems of generating content, using the 5 basic systems to generate content, is the tactile system, which is responsible for the feeling of touch. You were raped while young. That experience was a bad one. You were touched in an inappropriate way, and you are trying as much as possible to speak up about it. But there seemed to be a lot of judgment against you, a lot of condemnation against your person. Are you going to back down? Are you going to give in to what the majority is saying against your seeming unpopular opinion? You have so much content within you. Start to generate, start to document, start to speak up about what you know. In addition, which places do you regularly visit? The places you visit, the places you go to. I am actually watching out for my little man. Yes, He's my co-trainer, so I want to be sure that he's gotten the scripts properly so that we don't end up losing out some information. He's helping me out here. So I celebrate him. Okay, so these are ways that we can generate content. What you see can help you generate content. The things you hear about others, the stories you've heard, you can just pen down 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Your taste, how was that soup? It can have connection with food, it can have connection with your experiences in life. Thank you so much, Echezona, for watching. You are just being consistent. And what are leaders for if not for consequences, according to one of my friends? So, in every way, I want us to try to put ourselves in positions of leadership. You know, we have this journey ahead of us. And like I said, every content that you generate starts from the mind. Whatever it is, what your eye sees, go to the mind to process it. Whatever your nose perceives to be interpreted, whatever your tongue tastes, it will be interpreted. It will be interpreted. That is why I need you at this time to celebrate the fact that you are in your right mind. You are in your right mind, and always remember those that are in the psychiatric hospitals or those that have mental health issues. Remember them because we need them to be part of us to enjoy good mental health. All right? So, your mind is okay. You need to use it to generate content. There are special places, like for me, whenever I'm having my bath or whenever I'm around the toilet and bathroom area, I get ideas. I get ideas because for some years when I'm in the bathroom or when I used to be in the bathroom, those years I could stay in the bathroom for 1 hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you know, and I'll be singing and all that. As I'm singing, songs will just be coming forth. As songs are coming forth, I tell you, singing singing is actually a way of generating content, because by the time you write out those words, you write it out. If you don't sing it out, nobody knows it's a song, and you can use those words to speak to someone. All right, so do not waste any experience, that experience of sight, that experience of smell, that experience of hearing, that experience of taste, that experience of touch. Do not waste it. We have good and bad experiences. Let us learn to celebrate ourselves, both good and bad. All right, so that's why one of the major things we do on this platform is to celebrate people that are yet upcoming. There is something I don't really admire that I see in the world system or in people. People get close to you when you look successful, when you're successful. But that is not how life ought to be. That is not how life is supposed to be. We're supposed to stand out for each other. We're supposed to help each other stand. Why? Because everyone is cut out for greatness. We are all cut out for greatness, only not at the same time. So if we're not cut out at the same time, why should I imagine that because I'm succeeding today, the next person, I can't relate with him or her because she has not gotten to my level, or she has not gotten to my stage? Mindset, okay? Imputing mindset. Because like I said, whatever content you generate, wherever you generate your content, it may be in the field, it may be when you're talking with this special person, you just find out that ideas flow. For me, oftentimes I just sit down and I get a flow. The topic will just come, I just start writing. I always go with a pen. If you're ready to create content, always go with a pen and make good use of your phone. Make good use of a phone. You can't tell me, just like telling me you're a teacher and when you go to the bank and you start asking somebody for biro. To me, it shows a level of irresponsibility, because teachers always have not just one biro, at least two biros. So if you're a content generator or a content creator or an aspiring one, get your tools ready, your phone and a notepad in your bag, in your pocket regularly with a pen. It's very, very important because there are certain lines that just come straight as an inspiration, straight as a revelation, straight as Rema. And if you lose it that time, you will not be able to remember it again, you'll not be able to build on it. So, content generation is part of us. And there is a requirement for you to be able to generate content, quality content always. Thinking good thoughts. Like I said, the quality of your mind determines the quality of your content. Thinking well of others. It goes beyond just reading, because through your sight you get to read, or through hearing you get to read the kind of books you read. So if you want to connect the dots, you find out that the five senses, whatever you see with your eyes, maybe a book, maybe music, maybe a play, maybe a dance, maybe two persons fighting, maybe a horror movie, you can generate content from there. But the thing is, are they going to be bitter or sweet experiences? You can convert anything bitter to sweet. You can convert anything bitter to sweet. I don't want you to convert sweet to bitter. I don't know why we need to do that. Okay, yes, sometimes you may need to put people emotionally in a state where they feel, oh, they feel okay. Put them in a state of emotional connection, kind of. You understand? You want them to feel emotional about a particular script or write up. You can do that, but that's not tending towards negativity that much, depending on the storyline anyway. So what am I trying to say? We can generate content, try to look in the right places, mind what you see, then what you hear, the kind of things you hear. If you're always listening to gossip, you're the one peddling gossip, your own is always to run people down, your life is hanging in the balance, because you're actually wasting your time and the time of those connected to you by blood or relationship. You're wasting time. Or you use your mouth to speak ill of others. You're just jealous. And you have the skills, you have the tech knowledge, you are an educator, you have everything. But see, aside skills, beyond skills, you need to have the right mindset. You need to have the right frame of mind. You need to be emotionally balanced to be able to create content. Very important. That is why when you're talking about the subject of life, it is linked to mindset and emotions, because in the mind is a portal for creation. Not just a portal, is a place for creation of thoughts. And thoughts build the destinies of those who are vested in them, whether positively or negatively. So how do you want to build today? I think we should build positively. I think we should go the way of creators, positive creators, by looking well into good books, into good music, into seeing good in others, into encouraging others, then hearing good things, helping others through our hearing. Then how about those that cannot hear or cannot speak? Then through sign writing, through sign configuration, or through using of signs, they too can make content. They have this way they learn and all that. Then through smell, what do you smell when you take up a plate of egusi? What do you perceive when you think of a person? That is why it's important when you think positively. See, ideas will just keep coming. You have script, you have your notepad, you just have a lot of write-ups and all that. You just be generating content, creativity will just be all around you. I think that's important today. Okay? So I'd like to leave us here while we ponder on this. Let us come back by tomorrow for more. Have a great time. Some people are doing adverts here. Let me go offline before they'll start blowing my speakers. Have a great evening. Bye.